Hello guys, Z-Tank99 here and welcome to today's video where we're going to be doing the official preview of the NRL All-Star match for 2024. Can the Maori All-Stars hang on and continue their sort of dominance in the last couple of years, or can the Indigenous All-Stars wrestle it back? So first thing we're going to be doing is looking through the squad list, trying to discern where players are going to play, and then we'll go into the predictions of the match and trying to figure out what might happen. I recorded the team lists just now, but I've then found out that they've actually updated it very recently, so I've actually go through it. This is a brand new list. So this is the squad list for the Indigenous All-Stars. Josh Adokar, Bailey Biondiodo, Bailey Butler, Josh Curran, Adam Elliott, Zach Fulton, Jordan Grant, Jermaine Hopgood, Nico Hines, Brian Kelly, Josh Kerr, Alefiana Khan-Pereira, Kyle Labert, Latrell Mitchell, Shaquai Mitchell, Kieran Mosley, Hahepa Puru, Katoni Staggs, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, and Braden Trindle. So initially, Fulton, Brian Kelly, and Kyle Labert actually weren't in the first squad list, and Cody Walker actually was in the squad list, but because of Cody Walker's calf injury, he probably can't play. So in terms of how, there's a lot of interesting choices that could probably go on the wings and the centers, but I do believe the playmakers are going to be Braden Trindle at the 6 and Nico Hines at 7. I think Jermaine Hopgood should probably play in lock. Adam Elliott, starting in the props. Latrell at fullback. Question about Shaquai starting. I think Shaquai might start. I think it'd be pretty cool. Mr. Tabuai-Fidow on the wing. Should be a pretty solid lock. Katoni Staggs in the centers. I'd like to see Josh Curran start. I mean, either that or bring him on as like a number 17 impact sub, because I love me some Josh Curran. He's a big rig. There's a lot of big rigs in this team, got to say. And Coach Ronald Griffiths, who was now the Knights New South Wales Cup coach, formerly the Knights women's coach, back-to-back titles in it. But yeah, it's a very interesting looking team, and now we will go straight into the Maori All-Stars. So we are going with Jesse Arthurs, Kenny Bromwich, Jojo Fafita, Dane Gagai, Jake Howarth, Jerome Hughes, Royce Hunt, Tamai Martin, Trey Mooney, Britton Nakora, Cody Nikarima, Keenan Palacia, Adam Pompey, Joseph Tarpany, Jazz Tavaga, Leo Thompson, Matthew Tomoko, Brandon Smith, Dylan Walker, and Xavier Willison. Just got to say, really happy Leo Thompson's able to break into the team. He's kind of been pretty much borderline in rep, especially with New Zealand as well. And I think he had a really underrated season last year with the Knights. It was kind of, wouldn't say overlooked, but it's like he was still a very solid player. It's just that, other players like Ponga kind of, the backs took the limelight from the big rigs. Now, I haven't paid attention for the All-Star, I think, for the last couple of years. And I actually got kind of confused because I saw Dane Gagai in the Maori team list, and I'm like, isn't he Indigenous? Isn't he Aboriginal? And then, because I remember back in the old days when it first started, when it was, the World All-Stars against the Indigenous All-Stars, Gagai was Indigenous. And I'm like, so it turns out he's half and half. One of his parents is Maori, the other one is Indigenous. So it's like, yeah, sloppy around. Jacob Gagai, his brother, was actually in the squad as well, but it seems he has been removed. Whilst the two new additions, Jojo Fafita and Keenan Palacia, have been added to the Maori All-Stars team. So the players that were initially in for the Indigenous All-Stars were Cody Walker, as we've already mentioned, Isaiah Tass and Jacob Alick. And for the Maori All-Stars, Jacob Gagai being one, Dallin Watine-Zalesniak being out as well, which is, I think it's pretty major, and it's kind of even out the playing field somewhat. So, me looking into how this Maori team will probably line up, you got to have Jerome Hughes starting at halfback. I mean, what could be said about him? He's an absolute gun. Probably have Tamai Martin in at the 6, or you probably could have Dylan Walker in it as well. You'd have Brandon Smith, obviously, at hooker. Probably have Tarpany and Nakora in the prop roles. Gagai in at centre alongside Adam Pompey. Kenny Bromwich. Actually, Kenny Bromwich should be in the props, and one of them, just gets moved up as well. I think it's a pretty stacked team. I'm just trying to think of any other players that could probably pop in. Tarpany probably should start at in the second row, I think. But yeah, still very solid lineup. Looking into the predictions of what I think is going to happen is, if you saw the initial squad list that were put up on Instagram, it would seem pretty clear that the Maori All-Stars have a fair bit of a stronger team. But now, because Martins Lezek's now out, I think it could be a little bit more even. But I do think what will help the Indigenous All-Stars probably would be the halves pairing of Brain Trindle and Nico Hines, because at least there's like some sort of chemistry there, because obviously they both play for the same club, so it's like they know each other. It's just got to translate to the rest of the team. But in terms of how I think the game will go down, I believe that the Maori All-Stars should be able to take the win here. I think probably by about 14, so it's still like somewhat close, but I do think it shouldn't be too hard for them to get the win. Man of the match, I'm actually going to go with Kenny Bromwich, who I think she's probably going to be captain, maybe. I'm not too sure, but I think he's going to have absolute stalwart performance, big rig. First try scorer, I'm going to go... I'm going to go for the boy. I'm going to go for the Newcastle. I'm going to go for Leo Thompson, just to burrow himself over. Hopefully he's starting. Maybe not. I'm not too sure. So if he doesn't start, I will go with Jojo Fafita. So that is my preview and predictions for the NRL All-Star match. Who do you guys have winning this? Let me know in the comments below. Join me on Friday. We'll be streaming both this and the women's game prior. Just a quick predictions and how I think the women's will go. I do think that the Indigenous All-Stars for the women should win that. Player of the match, Tamika Upton, because she's the best player in the world. So that's how I think it's all going to go down. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.